Gentlemen, start your engines.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back here on a Sunday night for the Blazing Pedals Xfinity Series, brought to us by Savage Edge Graphics. Joining me tonight, as always, is Terry Foster. And Terry, how are we doing this evening?
Doing great, man. Doing great. We're here at Indianapolis. This big old, well, how big is this track? Like 2.5 miles, man. It's a huge track for these guys. Kind of a flat track, Sam. They a whole lot of banking in these turns.
Flat track and a big track, and drivers are going to really have to pay attention to that right front tire tonight. They're really going to be leaning on it into the corners for how fast they're entering turns 1 and turn 3. Got about a minute left here in practice, and Chris Carroll top of the board at 52.26. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to us by trjkarting.com. It's trjkarting.com 250 here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah, really glad to see Tim Habiet jump on board and sponsor this race tonight. Tim, if you're out there tonight, thank you, sir. We really do appreciate it. So, Sam, you said something very interesting about keeping that right front clean and keeping the front of the car clean. These guys have got to keep these things off the wall. It can cause a lot of damage, and it's going to mess up your aero pretty bad.
Yeah, this is definitely one track you're going to have to make sure you keep that car clean. But not only that, Terry, we've heard drivers talk about it. They're running what is called the iRacing open setup, ladies and gentlemen. That doesn't mean they can make changes on it. However, it's set up to have a lot of high downforce to it, a lot of tape on that front grille. If these guys get any sort of front end damage, we saw it at Watkins Glen with Chris Carroll, that engine will let go.
It absolutely was. I kind of watched these guys in practice earlier today, Sam, talking to some of them, and man, even pushing, you can draft here. It is a big enough track where you can draft, and you got to watch them temps. That thing starts getting red, it can let go, man, anytime it wants to. And remember, Sam, if you start pushing somebody, you're hitting probably 190, 192 going into turn 1 and turn 3. Man, these guys will be flying around this track.
That being said, Terry, getting word from race control, it's time to head down trackside for tonight's pre-race ceremony. So if you could please rise and remove your hats for tonight's national anthem. And thank you very much, Joshua Rutherford, for a great rendition of our national anthem. Everybody, please go check out Mullet Music Productions on YouTube. Couple minutes into qualifying here, taking a look at the number 71 of Chris Legoux on his first time lap. Right now, Chris Carroll top of the board with a 52.74. Dalton Kilroe second with a 52.9.
Sam, you say you're looking at the 71 there. I actually talked to the 71 before race here, asking him what kind of strategy he may have. Man, same thing you probably heard too, save these tires. But Chris did say one thing to me. He says, Terry, I'm looking for a top 15 tonight. Last week, ladies and gentlemen, he was looking for a top 20, and he got a top 20. So we're going to have to watch that 71 definitely tonight, see if he can get that top 15.
All right, now he puts it 8th on the charts with a 53.36, number 71 of Chris Legoux. Dalton finishes up his second lap, 52.88, going to stay second. Hank Caston, third quickest on the board, 52.97. And we got Cody Gibson back there, and I believe there's somebody on Shop Talk. I believe it was Jamie Walker picked Cody Gibson to win tonight. Or not Shop Talk, Track Talk. Did I say Shop Talk or Track Talk? Track Talk.
That
one.
Shop Talk.
Well, that one, the Track Talk one. Tanner's show, not Corey's show. Tanner's show.
Right.
Yeah, that one. They're similar, not really though.
Yeah, you know something else you pulled up. You said Dalton Kilroe. I actually talked to him. He's worried about that right front tire tonight, Sam, along with some of the other ones are. He's thinking that some of these drivers may try to cut out a pit stop. 100 laps around this track, Sam, they're going to have to do approximately 6 pit stops tonight if we get green flag all the way.
Well, I was actually talking to a couple of the work in progress drivers today before the race, and they were telling me that a fuel run tonight's only going to be about 15 laps. So cutting a pit stop out might be crucial.
Yeah, that's what I was getting kind of out of the MFRD guys. They was talking 15, 17 laps, you know, depending if they can save or not. So, yeah, 15 laps regardless. I think we can both say we're safe on that one.
See, Corey Sherman crosses the line here for his second lap, goes 7th quickest. Aaron Bach over in the number 44 out on track on his second lap. First lap, 53.19 for the number 44. Currently 9th on the charts.
Bach over actually talked to me tonight, bud. He said he's having problems making a turn. And he was joking, of course. He wants to get a top 43 tonight. And I think he'll have that chance since we only got 37 drivers, I think.
Yeah, I think he's going to actually pull it off. Steven Johnson is out here tonight. Good to see him back. I believe Steven Johnson actually just had a newborn child, so congratulations to him on that.
And Steven Johnson, I believe, doesn't he have a different car number now?
It's showing he has the number 2. I know a few drivers switched on us here in the past couple of weeks, but yeah, it's showing he's the number 2 tonight, so maybe that's what he went with. Yeah,
so we got a couple, at least 1 or 2 new names tonight. You guys are going to be here talking about the 20 of Mike Massengill. I think that is his last name. I'm not 100% on that. And you're going to see Dustin Payne tonight. Did he show up? Yeah, he'll be in the 81 tonight.
Yeah, Dustin Payne went to the 81. We got one. Well, he's new. He really hasn't raced a whole lot of races. We've seen him a few times. Michael Miller back out there on track. Newcomer Mackenzie Roon, I believe this is his second race with the series, so good to see him back.
Yeah, I got to talk to that 27, Sam Miller. His big thing was tonight was survive, slow and steady, and again, keep these tires under these cars.
Mark Arthur puts the number 12 machine second on the board with a 52.86. So good qualifying run out of the number 12. We were just talking about him. The 81 of Dustin Payne out there puts it 8th fastest, 53.09. It's only a couple of drivers left out on track here, Terry. Brian Dees being one of them. Just completed his first lap, 54.33 for the 17.
Yeah, Brian D's in that 17. He says he wants to keep his car on the gray stuff and keep it out of the white stuff, meaning the wall on his right-hand side.
100 laps. It's going to be a long one here tonight. Remember, we do have the True Sim Productions Halfway Point Award to give out as well. It's going to be when the leader takes lap 51. No stages, no competition cautions. Going to be straight up racing here, as always.
Sam, looks like everybody has taken a lap that's 1 and 2. The 20 of Mike Massengill, he has not taken a lap. We are showing Amanda Sherman, but I believe she actually had to get out because something was wrong with her equipment tonight.
Well, hopefully she's at least watching the broadcast.
I hope so too.
Yeah, right now it's showing Brian Dees is the only car out on the track. Finished up his run. Goes 8th fastest, 53.07. So right now, just waiting for the time to run out, Terry. So any thoughts on who you might be picking tonight?
Well, everybody's going to think I'm biased here, Sam, because I am taking the 89 of Van Fleet.
Lone Dutchman, Philip Van Fleet in the number 89. Going to be starting back there in 22nd, Terry. You know what? I'm going to go with the underdog, and I'm going to seem a little biased, but I'm going with the True Sim Productions ride. 24, Sam Lawson.
Sam Lawson out there trying to make some time up. Earlier, I did talk to Sam in that 24 car, and Sam, I hate to tell you this, he says he feels like he's trash at this track.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up qualifying. Drivers are going to start getting ready to grid up here tonight.
All right, we'll go ahead and go start with this grid there, Sam. Starter number 1, your pole driver, or your pole winners, Chris Carroll at 99. Outside pole in that 12, Mark Arthur. Then we got the 41 of Dalton Kilroy starting 3rd. Cody Gibson in the 7th, starting 4th. Hank Caston in that 36, starting 5th. In the 6th place, driving the number 6, it is Derek Paulson. In the 7th place, we got the 33 of John Perkins. In 8th, we got 17, Brian Dees. Dustin Ping in 81, starting 9th. Andy Polinsky in the 32, starting 10th. Corey Sherman in that 3 car, starting 11th. Taylor the Butcher Benjamin in the 10 car, starting 12th. In that 44 is Aaron Bachner, the starting 13th. In 14th spot, we'll have Mike Hamlin in that 28th. Nicholas Akier in the 9 car, starting 15th. Sam?
Steven Johnson's going to be rolling off P16 tonight. Joshua Rutherford is going to be starting in 17th in the 64 car. He's going to have Todd Morosco to his outside in the number 1, starting 18th. Dave Seats, 1 at Watkins Glen, going to be starting back there in 19th position in the 14. Chris Legou, you heard Terry say he's going for a good finish tonight, starting back there in 20th in that number 71. Paul Ellison in the number 55 is going to be rolling off 21st with Terry's pick, the Lone Dutchman, Philip Van Fleet, starting in 22nd. Rick Thompson's going to be rolling off 23rd with Joe Alberico to his outside in 24th. Rolling on down through the field, we got Tanner Marr in the 4 car starting in 25th with Mackenzie Roon to his outside in 26th. Samuel Lawson, the governor, going to be starting in 27th with Donald Bennett starting in 28th. Fred Thompson rolling off 29th position with Corey Rutherford to his outside in 30th. Michael Miller is going to be starting in 31st with Larry Bell to his outside in 32nd. Jamie Walker rolling off 33rd with Mike Massengill, newcomer in the number 20, starting 34th. And Amanda Sherman, technical difficulties, not able to take the grid here this evening.
All right, Sam, these guys are rolling down the track. We're going to do a lap here probably, and we're going to green flag racing shortly.
It's a long way around this track, Terry. Long pace lap.
Yeah, 2.5 miles at, I believe, 75 mile an hour, Sam, is pace speed here. Pit speed, 60 mile an hour. Now, remember, I already told you, we're going to go into turns 2 and turn 4 at approximately 190 mile an hour. Those guys got to get them cars slowed down, get around that turn to get into pit lane down to 60 mile an hour.
We're going to be seeing green flag pit stops really quick too, Terry, with only 15 laps. I mean, strategy is going to be a big factor here tonight.
Very well is. Like I said, some of these guys, 15 laps of fuel, maybe 17 if they try to push it. I don't see them doing that till late in the race. But yeah, 15 laps. But then again,
Terry, if they start saving now, I mean, you try to cut that pit stop off late. If you start now, I don't know. We're going to find out. I mean, you got a couple of drivers, I think, starting near the back who might try that strategy. So we're going to find out.
Well, we got Jamie Walker starting back here in 33rd, Sam. Maybe this is part of his strategy, maybe to try to save fuel.
It's very possible.
Very possible. And save these tires. Well, I mean, these guys, pit car, excuse me.
Pace car down pit road. Chris Carroll, Mark Arthur leads him down, and green flag is out in the air here at Indy. Wrong ticker. What are you doing, Sam? There we go. All right, there we go. We're good. Down into turns 1 and 2. Mark Arthur trying to hang tough on the outside, trying to stay in front of Dalton Kilroy right there in that 41 car. Top 5, 6 cars, single file out. So we go back to about 7th place. John Perkins gets in front of Dustin Ping right there, coming out of turn number 2.
Chris Carroll is getting a little bit of a lead on that 12 car early in this race. Carroll might want to watch out, burn up them tires early. As the 7 of Cody Gibson coming ever so close to the 41 of Dalton Kilroy.
Now remember, that was Jamie Walker's pick on Track Talk earlier today, and he's up there in 4th. So right on the back bumper of Kilroy. Only lap 1, long way to go. Can't say anything just yet, but everybody looks like they're single filed out, Terry. Everybody's looks like they're content to ride right now. First side-by-side battle we got is back here in 17th. Ty Morosco and Joshua Rutherford.
Sam, I was kind of watching these guys going through 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 now. They're kind of dropping that left side down below that white line. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing for these guys.
Well, if I remember correctly here at Indy, you can get down there, but you're risking rear end of the car coming out from underneath you. You touch that left side down underneath that white line, it's going to help rotate the car, but you are risking it getting too loose on you and spinning it out.
Sam, I'm going through the field. I just happened to look at, I'm watching the 3 to 44 of Sherman and Bockover. Bockover is actually pushing Sherman down the the front stretch. Back stretch, I'm sorry. I can't remember where I'm at right now.
Bockover looking to the inside of his teammate here down the front stretch. Going down into 1 and 2. Sherman not going to give it up. He's going to send it in there. Try and slide down in front of his teammate here to hold on to that 10th position. Dustin Ping thought about looking to the inside of Brian Dees there for a second. In turn 2. Slots back in line.
Pinging that new car this week in that 81. I like that car, Sam. That's a sharp-looking car.
Dalton Kilroy set the fastest lap of the race thus far, 53.47 on lap 2. Sitting there in third place.
Chris Carroll did not get away from him, as I kind of thought he was going to try to do, Sam, earlier. You know, a lap or so ago, we seen Carroll just start pulling away from that 12 car, Mark Arthur. And now Mark Arthur is just reeling him back in and taking Dalton Kilroy with him.
Dustin Ping looking to the inside of Brian Dees right here going into turn 1. It's a battle for your 8th position. Right now, Ping has the advantage, going to try and slide up in front of the 17, and he takes that spot going down in turn 2.
Carroll got a little wobbly coming off 2, and the 12 almost capitalized on it.
It looked like he had to back out of it because he lost his momentum there. As you see the 41 starting to gain on the back bumper, the 12 car going down the back. Now remember, ladies and gentlemen, these drivers only have 4 sets of tires, so that's why Terry and I were talking about strategy here tonight. Not only are you going to have to save that right front, you're going to have to stop here in about 15 laps for fuel as well. How many times are these guys going to have to double stint these tires? Are they going to burn them up here too early? We're going to find out as Dalton Curo looking to the inside of Mark Arthur for second.
Now that is something Carroll wants to see. These two guys racing along with 7 of Cody Gibson. He loves seeing that. He got caught up there, but behind the 12 pretty quick.
Right behind him is Hank Caston in number 36. Derek Paulson, MFRD driver, back there in 6th.
Sam, something we're not seeing tonight as of far. I mean, we're only 5 laps into this. The MFRD guys all piled up together. We've seen that pretty much throughout the season so far.
John Perkins out of Speed Mafia. He's doing a good job here in this number 33 Ford Mustang. Now, he's a driver that we've seen, Terry, the last couple of races kind of have some bad luck. But looks like it might be turning around a little bit for him here. Only lap 5 of 100. Long way to go. But, again, out here running consistent lap times and staying up there in 7th.
Yeah, John Perkins actually was fastest. We have an earlier practice that Corey Rutherford puts up. John Perkins was actually the fastest during that whole practice, and I got to talk to John. He said he wants to save that right front, and he wants to keep his car clean, which I think is going to be key to all these guys.
Looks like Paulson's starting to catch up to the back of that 36 car going into 3 right there. You go back to Brian Dees back there 9th. Oh, Andy Poliski looking to the inside of Corey Sherman right now. Looks like Aaron Backover managed to get around Corey Sherman, take over that 10th spot. And now Sherman in jeopardy of losing 11th to Andy Poliski, as now Taylor Butcher Benjamin looks to the inside of Poliski going down the front stretch.
And Paulson, while you're looking down, Paulson actually got around at 36 and Caston. And the 81 of Ping is, I think he's trying to work on that 33 of Perkins, Sam.
Got Mike Hamlin back here right behind Andy Poliski. Having a good run up here in the top 15. Steven Johnson moved up 1 spot since the start of the race. He's in 15th.
Well, Steven Johnson now in the number 2 car. We've seen him in the 11. I forgot to make that note change, but yeah, there's Steven Johnson in that Lowe's red car and that number 2.
How about a pick update, Terry? Your driver right now currently 28th. He's lost 6 spots since the drop of the green flag. The Dutchman back there in 28th.
Lone Dutchman back here, like you said, in 28th. Not really by himself. He's got Alberico running up behind him. I talked to Alberico. He's a little under weather. He had a surgery done, so he just wants to ride this thing out to the finish, Sam.
Take a look at my pick right now. He's sitting 23rd. Sam Lawson, number 24 TSP Ford Mustang. He actually has Chris Legou right behind him, Terry.
Yeah, Chris Legou in that 71. Looks like he might be just doing a little drafting off that 24. Sam, get a little speed up. Get up from behind him eventually here, maybe work his way around that 24.
Let's go back up to the race lead. Chris Carroll he's pulled away a little bit, but Dalton Kilrose stayed right with him. Then you got to go back about 1.5 seconds to Mark Arthur and Cody Gibson, and this might be where we start to see a little bit of strategy being played, everybody. Did Mark Arthur maybe start lifting a little bit earlier, trying to save just a little bit more fuel, go an extra lap than these guys? We're going to find out, because we only got about 5 laps before we see green flag pit stops.
Yeah, 5 laps. And I just want to know, Sam, these guys come down, are they going to take tires on that first one, or are they going to try to do 2 stints on that first set of tires?
I mean, when you're only running 15 laps on a set of tires, you might as well go out and do another stint on them, right? I think we're going to see a lot of guys take fuel only this first stop. Then the second stop, we'll probably see them take 4 fresh tires.
I was listening to, I believe the TNA guys or the MFRD guys. I can't remember which one it was. But they were saying after a good fuel run, they still had a high percentage of tires left on those cars. So it's hard telling what these guys are going to do. I mean, looking at the time, Sam, so the best lap for second place Dalton Kilroy was a 53.47. He's right now running a 54.74.
Oh, contact. Andy Poliski just got contact right there. We got to go back and take a look at that, Terry. There's a lot that went on there. Mike Hamlin made the pass on him, slides up in front of him. It looks like Poliski had to check up, and Steven Johnson got into the back of that 32 car. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that number 2 car now because he has front end damage. Maybe he's going to start overheating.
And Poliski in that 32, that was a great save out of Andy Poliski.
It was.
Now he's in front of Ellison in that 55. So Ellison, we've talked about him many times.
Andy Poliski has that right rear damage. You can see it right there as we go back down in turns 1 and 2. Dave Seats looking to the inside of Nick Okier up here. It's a battle for 16th position. Got Rick Thompson right behind him. Speaking of Rick Thompson, we actually have Rick Thompson on in-car camera tonight.
Nice.
Bring him up real quick. There he is, bottom left part of your screen, ladies and gentlemen. We can even go on board with him here.
And Rick Thompson putting that lean into it also, even though he's sitting still.
Well, Terry, you race VR, you know that's a natural lean. He's doing that naturally. I don't think he realizes he's actually doing it, but he's just goes into the corner. We'll watch it right here. He goes into the corner, and he's going to just naturally lean his head. Watch. Turns his head.
You're absolutely right, Sam. I do race it, and I have caught myself leaning a lot. But you get so involved and immersed into this. It's a blast, though.
Let's see, another driver we actually have is the 55 of Paul Ellison. He's on in-car camera tonight as well. See if I can't bring him up.
55 just got passed by the 88 of Walker. Walker actually started last. Man, he's worked his way up to the 20th spot already. Or 21st, excuse me.
No, he's in 20th. He's right in front of Paul Ellison right now in the 55. We're watching him on board.
Yeah, my ticker didn't change yet. That's why I said it.
Who else we got on in cars tonight? We got Corey Rutherford. Let's bring him up.
Corey Rutherford, CJR Graphics. He's the guy that puts our weekly practices up for these guys on Sunday afternoons. Thank you, Corey, for what you do with us. And anybody out there need a good paint, CJR Graphics, look up Corey.
And we also have one final driver, Terry, in-car cameras, and that's Steven Johnson.
Wow.
Yeah, Steven Johnson. And he looks concentrated, man. I tell you what. And he probably has to be right now. We saw him make that little bit of contact with the 32 car, so he's probably monitoring those temperatures.
So right there, ladies and gentlemen, we got Steven Johnson, let's say on your screen. He's not running a VR. Corey Rutherford was not running the VR, but we saw that Rick Thompson was. A lot of these drivers do run the VR.
Back up to the front of the field, Chris Carroll has gapped Dalton Kilroy by 2.3 seconds. And back from Dalton is Mark Arthur, 1.3 seconds. And then Cody Gibson right behind Mark Arthur in that 12 car sitting there in 4th. We did have one driver come down pit road. That was Larry Bell in the 43 thus far. We're on lap 14 of 100. Definitely going to be seeing green flag pit stops here very, very shortly in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, I'm showing lap 14 right now. Uh-oh. Check out the 89. something happened between him and the 4.
So let's see here. Let's go back and see if I can find it here. All right, so they're side by side down the back. Looks like Tanner might have got the wall just a little bit, came down. Phillip goes down into the grass. Great save by this 89 car. He got a good run. Let's take another look at it right here. Yeah, Tanner just clips the wall a little bit, comes down, gets into that 89 car, and Phillip goes down through the grass, goes for a ride. Good save by the 89. Doesn't look like he has too much damage there, Terry.
Awesome job out of Van Fleet for doing that as he works around the 20 now of Mike Messingill, newcomer to Blazing Pedals.
Well, we're taking lap 16 right now of 100. Chris Carroll keeps it out on the racetrack.
Yeah, so far we've only had, like you said, Larry Bell. He was our first taker on a pit stop. 18 seconds of Sam, almost 19 seconds. Maybe get a little damage done from something, maybe?
I'm not sure. Let's go back and take a look at his race car. Looks like he has a clean race car, Terry. He was on pit lane for about a minute and only in his stall for about 18 seconds. He might have scraped the wall a little bit and they might have had to bang the fenders out, but the 43 car looks clean right now. But Larry Bell being scored the first car 1 lap down.
Sam, I'm looking back to a different time in scoring. Larry Bell, lap 10, got himself a 4X somehow.
Let's see if I can't go back and find it then.
Well, Andy Politsky, Mike Hamlin, Johnson, Bennett, Alberico, all lap 10. They must have had a problem there.
Okay, so here, I just found it. It was Donald Bennett actually going into the corner here. He pushes tight up into the outside wall. Larry Bell gets into the back of him. So that's where that contact came from.
We got pit stops going on right now. Carroll actually on pit lane.
Dalton Caro keeps it out on the racetrack. No surprise there. Captain Save Fuel going one more time.
He could probably go to lap 30, I'm thinking.
Probably somewhere around there. I thought he could go to the end already. But Mark Arthur's right behind him, Terry, maybe playing the same strategy. Ladies and gentlemen, bottom of your screen is pit stops. The larger number is the amount of time they spent on pit road, and the smaller number is the time they've spent in their pit box. So it looks like we had one driver take tires right there. Trying to look down through. It looked like Hank Caston taking tires on his pit stop. Mark Arthur bringing it down pit side. Dalton Kilroad comes down. Ty Morosco keeps it out on the racetrack. Going to lead a lap here. Got Larry Bell right behind him.
5 points for that number 1 car. Actually, out there to lead the lap. Maybe Larry Bell is trying to get his lap back once Morosco gets down into the pits. Yep, he just called it out. Bell's going to have to go around it.
Another driver who stayed out was Joshua Rutherford. Same with Chris Legou and Phillip Van Fleet. All these guys stayed out one more lap.
Wow, that's 18 laps right there.
And once they cross the line, I would imagine we're going to see him pit this time. I'm going to watch Joshua Rutherford here in the number 64. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, go check out Mullet Music Productions. He's got it all over his race car here, the Mullet Music Productions Chevy Camaro. Go check him out on YouTube. Makes great music.
Tom Roscoe is bringing it down pit lane, and that does leave Bell out there to get his lap back.
Rutherford down pit road. Legou's going to follow him. And same with Phillip Van Fleet, the lone Dutchman. Everybody on pit road. So it's going to cycle out Chris Carroll in the race lead. He's got a 7.5 second gap over Mark Arthur.
I was just looking at that same thing, Sam.
That's crazy because Mark actually had the better pit stop, it looks like. I'm trying to watch it. No, Mark actually was a little bit slower on pit road. Just a little bit. Not much, though. Derek Paulson, actually, he was pretty quick.
That's a cool feature you got there, Sam, on that screen. I like that.
The pit stops at the bottom.
10-4. I like that, man.
Yeah.
High class here, buddy. TSP.
It's kind of a cheat sheet in a way because it lets me know when somebody brings it down pit side.
Hey, it works.
So we're coming to take lap number 20 of 100, almost a quarter of the way through this race. Chris Carroll leading. You got Derek Paulson, who actually moved up into second. He just got around Mark Arthur. I kind of want to go on board with this 12 machine. He was able to go about a lap longer than Chris Carroll. And I'm wondering if maybe he's trying to save a little fuel. I want to see when he's lifting going into turn 1 here. So right before that one board. Oh, he looks a little loose, Terry. Maybe these tires are starting to let go for these guys.
Yeah, they could be. And I just happened to look through the pit stops. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got a handful that did take tires. First one I see is the 41 of Dalton Kilrow. He took tires. Hank Casson, that 36, he took tires. And then on back to Ty Morosco. He's in there for 11 seconds. Man, that is a short pit stop to be taking tires and just fuel.
Well, so here's the thing. Like you just said, Dalton Kilrow took tires, a 15-second stop for that number 41 machine. Is this maybe part of that we're going to cut a pit stop out strategy? I mean, if you can cut a pit stop out, you might be able to take tires the whole way.
And we know, Sam, that 41, if anybody on this track out of these 33 drivers, he can do it.
Right now, looking at timing and scoring, Terry, if we take a look at the last time by, Taylor Butcher Benjamin took fuel only and Dalton Kilrow took tires. They both ran a 55.5 or a 55.6. So the tires really not helping Dalton all that much unless he's saving a little bit.
I almost bet that he is, because that's why I'm wondering how Taylor Butcher Benjamin got up to where he's at in 6th. Was he saving on his tires on this first stint? Because we didn't see him in the picture for the most part.
Just got word from race control, 88 of Jamie Walker, unsafe pit exit, black flag pass-through penalty.
Sam, I don't know what's going on. Donald Bennett, he has taken his car to his hauler. I don't know if he's leaving or what.
So Dalton, so here's the thing. Hank Casson's on fresh tires as well, as we're on board here with the number 41. He just went around Dalton. I think Dalton's conserving right now. So we go back up to the front of the field. Still Chris Carroll, 8.6 second lead over Derek Paulson now.
Still a long way to go in this race. So he's got quite a few guys behind him that also did not take tires. So it's going to be interesting, Sam, here at about, where are we at here? 17, 32, somewhere in there, 34?
We're probably going to see everybody come back down around lap 32, lap 33. Remember, we had a couple of drivers stay out a couple of laps later, too. Drivers like the Ty Morosco in the number 1, he pit on lap 18. Jamie Walker, unfortunately, I think, Terry, he was having the strategy there because he went until lap 20. Started near the rear, was working his way up through the field, but he was saving a lot of fuel, and he was able to go to lap 20. But, yeah.
We've seen that 88 come back from worse stuff, Sam, in the past, so I'm not counting that 88 out by any means.
Now, anything can happen. I mean, we haven't even had a caution yet. You know, knock on wood, of course. It's providing some great race, and these guys are going to have to really think about their strategy. But, you know, that's what Jamie has to keep in the back of his head. You know, if I stay the first car one lap down, we get a quick yellow, I'm right back in this thing.
Right now, Jamie Walker has to contend with Mike Massigal, which he's 2 laps down. Again, Donald Bennett's car is still over by the hauler. So I don't know what his plans are.
See Joshua Rutherford making his way around the number 20 of Mike Massengill. Rutherford being scored in 21st position right now. He was one of those drivers who stayed out till lap 18, so he can go a little bit further than these guys. I think we're going to see a good finish out of this number 64 tonight, Terry.
Very well possible, because him and his brother Corey in the 5, these guys put effort into these races. Always practicing. Again, during the practice in the afternoons, these guys are in there. So both Rutherford boys, they deserve to be up front. That's for sure. And we've seen Corey do it already this season. back up front, Chris Carroll. He has got almost a 10-second lead over second place Mark Arthur right now. As Hank Caston's actually getting around the 12 car, Sam. That 36 working on the 12 down underneath that.
All right, so I just put a poll up in our YouTube chat there, Terry. It's just based on what we're getting right now. We've gone 25 laps, green flag. Everybody's really spaced out. It'd be unfortunate if we got a caution right now, but I don't see it happening. So I asked our chat, are we going to get a late race caution that could maybe change up the finish of this thing?
It's funny, you and I both went separate ways because I think we're going to see a late race caution out of this.
So everybody, make sure you put your vote in. I'm curious to see what the community thinks. Like I said, these guys are pretty spaced out right now. I don't see it happening, but it very well could late in the race.
Well, Hank Caston got around Mark Arthur. He is trying to cut that Chris Carroll's lead down a little bit. Again, he's got the fresher tires than Carroll does.
Yeah, he can definitely do it. I mean, I want to go back and look at the number 41 as well, because Hank and Dalton both took tires, and I think, again, it's either a strategy for this 41 car or he accidentally had the crew put a set of tires on. We're gonna have to see what he does here on his second stop. But he hasn't really gained a lot of ground compared to that 36 car.
No, he is not, but he's trying to catch up to that 7 to Cody Gibson. And he just got around his teammate, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, in that 10 a little while ago. Now he's trying to work on Gibson for that 6th place.
Well, I got a few more laps, and we're going to see green flag pit stops again, Terry.
Yeah. That's one thing about this track, man. You got to stop every so often, man.
Well, that, and let's make sure we let the people watching know that these guys are not running a full tank of fuel. They're running about, 60%, I believe, of a full tank.
It is 60%, I believe.
There you go. So they're missing. Basically, think of it like taking a couple extra gallons out that they don't have. So if they would have put that fuel in there, they'd probably be able to go till about lap 30, probably, with a full tank of fuel. Maybe a little less, maybe 25. But yeah, it definitely changes the strategy up, especially when you only have 4 sets of tires on the wall.
Yeah, 4 sets of tires plus the one you start with, of course, and pretty much everybody's still on that one set of tires, or that same set of tires they started on. Again, leader Chris Carroll, Caston has cut that lead down a little bit, but yeah, Carroll's still on his fresh tires. And Lori, we see you out there hollering for Mark, but Mark did not take tires on that last pit stop, but I see him doing something here in a few laps.
Yeah, Hank Caston, I think he might have burnt his stuff up driving through those guys there, because he was back near Dalton Kilrow back in about 12th position there, and had to get around them guys before he was able to get into some clean air to try running down Carroll. The gap is shrinking, but it's very minimal each lap. He's down under 8 seconds right now.
Hank Caston, not new to the league, but new this season. Last week he started his first race. And Sam, I know you've seen it just as well as I did. First thing out of his, he typed up in our Discord was, "Hey, where's my points, man? I don't see my points." Say, Hank, trust me, your points are there.
So Paul Ellison just got around the 41 of Dalton Kilrow. Now, Ellison was one of those drivers who pit on lap 17. He did take 4 fresh tires. You got Poliski as well, who's up into 6th. He took 4 fresh tires that last round of pit stops.
So I was going to say, man, let's not forget about the sleeper, Poliski.
Looks like you got a little bit of that right rear damage banged out, too. Looks a lot better than it did about 10, 15 laps ago.
Yeah, Poliski slowly reeling into 6th of Paulson. But Ellison, man, he just gets right up there behind Poliski pretty quick.
Polisky's looking to the inside of Paulson here, going down the back straightaway. His teammate right there, Work in Progress Racing, is going to help push him, give him that draft.
6 is coming in.
All right, so he's going to let both of them go by. And you got to think about it, ladies and gentlemen. He did that. That's just time lost. I mean, he could have tried to cut down in front of Ellison, but he decided to let him go. So smart move, but it is time lost.
Yeah, I think I would have tried maybe to make him work on the outside of me if I'm going to pit. Yeah, he just lost a boatload of time in a couple spots there.
Now Brian Dees is going to lose 4th position here to Andy Polisky. Now Ellison looking underneath him as well. And again, everybody's going to be coming down pit road here in the next, I'd say, 5 laps, within the next 5 laps. So be sure to watch the bottom of your screen and see once drivers start coming down pit road.
Is D saving? Because he let Polisky and Ellison go. Now he's letting Paulson go.
Well, let's find out. Go on board with Brian Dees here for about half a lap. Being scored currently in 7th. No, he didn't save going into 4. Let's see when he backs out of the throttle here going into turn 1. I wouldn't say the 17 car's saving, Terry.
Okay.
Maybe just could have ate them tires up.
Very well could have. Brian D's last bit of the last 17. I said Carroll lap was 16. So Carroll has got to be getting awful close.
Last lap 16. He might be coming either this time or I'd say next time would be my guess.
John Perkins just called out his pit.
There it is. Chris Carroll down pit road, race leader. Does Hank Caston stay out on the racetrack? He's going to stay out one more lap and get that 5 bonus points for leading the lap here tonight.
Hank Caston's kind of in a hurry, Sam, to get these points added up as quick as he can since he's already missed a handful of races this season.
Mark Arthur stays out on the track. He's got Polisky behind him. Polisky, big move going into turn 2. And get around Mark Arthur really quick right there. That was a good move by the 32. He got a good run coming out of 1 down that little short chute there. Just made the move on Mark Arthur going into 2. Paul Ellison now trying to get around him as well.
Paul Ellison and Polisky both fresher tires than Arthur.
This is track position for them. The question is, when are we going to see them come down pit road? Right now, we got Cody Gibson, John Perkins, Steven Johnson, Rick Thompson, Michael Miller, and Tanner Marr all on pit road. Hank Caston just brought his 36 Chevy Camaro down pit road. Polisky and Ellison are going to stay out on the track. Now, Polisky, 5 bonus points, leading the lap.
Yeah, again, the way we do our points this season, get everyone... every spot you can get is going to give you points. Every time you lead a lap, it's going to, well, not every time you lead a lap, but it's going to give you 5 points for leading a lap. If you lead the most laps, that's an extra 5 points. If you can finish this race on the lead lap without getting a scratch on your car, that's an extra 10 points.
Just waiting for pit stops to cycle out here. Curious to when this 32 and 55 are going to bring down pit road. Not only that, Mark Arthur as well. Now, I'm telling you, I think this 12 car has been somewhat conserving as he brings it down pit side. Andy Polisky, Mark Arthur, Derek Paulson, Ellison going to stay out on the track and lead for 5 bonus points.
12 car slowly down pit lane at 60 mile an hour, bringing the 6 of Paulson with him, as Paul Ellison is our leader at the moment.
Brian D stayed out another lap. Same with Dalton Kilrow, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Corey Rutherford, and Joshua Rutherford. All those guys. Dave Seats, Tom Roscoe, Nicholas Okie all stayed out.
The 10 and the 5, Sam just called out the pit stops, so we'll be watching Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Corey Rutherford come down pit lane. I imagine Joshua Rutherford will be coming down with them.
Ooh, Dalton Kilroy almost got into the outside wall right there, coming off of 3 down the short chute. Paul Ellison brings it down pit side, and here comes the MFRD guys with Corey Rutherford. Joshua Rutherford is going to stay out one more time, Terry. Give 5 bonus points to the 64, Josh Rutherford.
Wow, I really thought he would come down with his brother, Corey. Corey had a little hard time getting on the pit lane. He almost ran the 10 over.
Well, Rutherford stays out on track. Morosco also stays out on track. Chris Carroll's starting to pass these guys in the pits. Philip Van Vliet stayed out on track as well. He has yet to pit.
Sam, I just noticed something. The 44 of Bockover, 7 laps down. His car has not left the pits. It's been there for a while.
See if I can go back on race control and see if maybe Bockover had some contact with somebody.
I believe what it was, I thought I heard somebody holler at the 44 saying it looks like he may have electrical issues.
Rutherford brings it down pit road, but Morosco keeps it out one more lap.
He actually just called his pit out.
I'm telling you, man, that one car, he's gone longer than anybody now at this point, so he might be on the strategy. It looks like, well, we got Chris Carroll. He took tires last time by. Hank Caston did not. We kind of saw that one coming. Dalton Kilroy, Terry, he took tires.
Wow.
So I'm telling you, I think that 41 in this MFRD camp, these guys, they're trying to cut that pit stop out.
I was gonna say we're gonna have to watch that 41 probably a little closer to see if he starts saving here. At least he's gonna have to be after the next stop, I would think.
So Ty Morosco brings it down pit road, and Chris Carroll comes out of turn 4. He's going to hand the race lead back over to Carroll. That being said, we're going to be 38 laps into this race. Still a long way to go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take our first commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Shut up and sit down.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Put the power of Southern Shores Realty to work for you. With over 30 professionals in sales and rental management, Southern Shores Realty and I will get the job done right. I'm Rick Thompson, your Outer Banks real estate expert.
Call 261-2000.
Back live here on True Sim Productions. Chris Carroll out to a 15-second lead over second place right now. Steven Johnson got out to second there with a little bit of strategy. He took tires on his last pit stop. He's got Andy Poliski right behind him, and John Perkins up there in the top 5. Hank Caston's actually falling back to 5th, Terry.
Yeah, Hank falling back, not quickly, but he is falling back. And you said Johnson, running at second right now. Last week's winner at New Hampshire, Stephen T. Johnson.
So we're on lap 43, Terry. I just want to point out, we took that commercial break, but, pit stops are going to be happening again here in about, I'd say, 8 laps.
Yes, very quickly here. Just happened to see Mackenzie Ruin took his car back to the hauler also, as long as, we've seen Tanner Marr. He took his car back to the hauler, and hell, he left.
All right, so I'm getting word from race control, Terry. The 78 apparently was given a pit road violation, and he hasn't served it, or he apparently no. He said apparently he towed instead of serving it. This according to Garrett, but he's back out on track, back there in 31st. It looks like he's got some right front damage. Go ahead, and I'm gonna ask race control what the violation was. Let me get 1 second here.
Okay.
If I know the hammer, Terry, I guarantee it wasn't staying to the right. If I had to guess, it was not staying to the right of pit road.
I'm sure it is. And Garrett, Randy, man, that guy is a godsend for us here at Blazing Pedals. He watches all these cars just like you and I do. And man, he will drop the hammer. People laugh, but he doesn't.
Confirmation coming down from race control. Not staying to the right on pit road entry.
I ain't no really reason to leave.
I didn't leave. He's back out on track right now.
It doesn't say that he's connected anywhere on me.
It's showing the number. Oh, I'm sorry, the number 78. I was looking at the number 20 there. Yeah, you're right. So 78 must have loaded it up on the hauler.
Yeah, I believe he said see ya, which is next week. Sam, we go to Atlanta for 196 laps.
Atlanta, oh man, it's gonna be plate racing. Even though they don't have plates anymore or whatever, but I still consider it a plate track now, the way that it runs.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's fast now, real fast. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually trying to work on something right now with one of our drivers to get them up here to talk with us. That driver's not on track tonight, but I'm trying to con him into getting up here with us so we can talk to him.
Andy Poliski just got around the two of Steven Johnson there for second, but Johnson all over the back bumper going into turn 3. Looks like he's going to go ahead and back out of it and let Poliski have it. Poliski last pit on lap 34, so he does have 2 lap better tires than that number 2 machine. And remember, Steven Johnson got that little bit of contact earlier by getting into the back of that 32. So maybe kind of just saying, hey, man, didn't mean to do that. Here, you can have it.
Now, that would be cool to see that 2-car walk away with a win here tonight, take him a big speedway race and a short track from New Hampshire last week.
I'd like to see this 32 car Poliski take it. I mean, we've been calling him Mr. Where Did He Come From all season. He had that bad luck at Watkins Glen when he was having a good run, and it just seems like he gets up there and maybe something happens. Just hasn't been able to secure a win or a really good finish really this season. He's had a couple, but bad luck really hitting that 32 here early in the season. Not now though. Out there running in second, up 8 spots since the start of this race. So good run for Poliski. I hope I don't jinx him this time.
I was gonna say the sleeper's doing a wonderful job out there tonight.
I'm going to go back and take a look at his teammate real quick. That's Paul Ellison, Terry. Remember, him and Poliski, they're kind of on the same strategy. Ellison stayed out a lap longer, so he's got 3-lap better tires than these guys up front. He's trying to stay in front of Dalton Kilroy right now. He's got Derek Paulson in front of him. So Paul Ellison back there running in 7th, up 14 spots since the start of this race right now.
Yeah, as you said, Paulson in front of Ellison. And behind Ellison is Paulson's 2 teammates, the 41 at Kilroy, 17 of Brian Dees, and not far back from Mayor's Taylor Butcher Benjamin.
Chris Carroll on pit road. Race leader on pit road, Terry.
I'm going to stay on the race leader right now, Sam. I'm going to see what he does. See if I see that car go up in the air.
Yeah, I'm actually interested to see what Carroll's going to do here, as you got Steven Johnson and John Perkins both bringing it down pit side as well. Poliski stays out. Mark Arthur, Paulson, Ellison, Kilroy, all these guys.
Looks like the car is going up in the air, Sam. Yep, he took the right side.
Oh, Dalton Kilroy, I think, had a little wiggle there coming out of turn number 1 down that short chute. He lost a little bit of time there, lost the position to his teammate, Brian Dees.
He actually did, Sam. I heard him going through the comms saying, man, got a little loose there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our special guest for the night is not going to be able to make it. I'm talking about the one and only driver number 8, Amanda Sherman. She had some issues tonight with her ride, so she had to sit this one out. She is out there watching and talking to us. So, Amanda, we're glad you're still here with us.
I'm not. Get up here.
Well, she said she couldn't get on the computer. I guess Corey decided to pull all the wires, so she don't know what wire goes where.
Oh, come on, Corey. Why you got to be doing that? Hey, lap 50 of 100 here, Terry. Once they cross the line, it's going to be that True Sim Productions halfway point of the race. Right now, Andy Poliski on the charge to get it. Oh, Terry, we got somebody out in chat saying, let's go Bockover. Who wants to tell him?
That's my brother, actually, Mike. Bockover's on the hauler. Actually, his car's still sitting in pits, but yeah, Bockover is done, Mike.
Andy Poliski crosses the line. I'm sure you were just going to say the same thing, Terry. Halfway point goes to Poliski.
And Mark Arthur was not far behind him to try to grab that.
Now, Mark's actually been turning it on a little bit here. He's been catching this 32 car rather quickly. Remember Chris Carroll, he came down pit road. He did take tires, as Terry said. But I'm curious to see how this is going to play out there. We got 50 laps to go now, so not a lot of time left. There's still plenty of time, but not a lot of time here. We're going to have a couple more pit stops. What strategy is going to play out, and are we going to see that late race caution?
Buddy, the way these guys are going, we're seeing tires. We're not seeing tires. We're seeing fuel. I don't know what we're going to see, buddy.
Poliski, Arthur, and Paulson bring it down pit side.
Poliski hard on the brakes, made Mark Arthur slow down a ton. Excuse me, the 6 of Paulson was able to not run him over.
We got a new race leader, Terry. Brian Dees. He's going to take 5 bonus points tonight. So there's points being thrown out everywhere tonight.
Brian Dees, the soul stealer. He has got himself 5 points.
And Kilroe keeps it out on the racetrack. Paul Ellison, same, also out on the racetrack. They all last pit on lap 35, Terry. We got to go back to Ty Morosco and Josh Rutherford. Those are the 2 guys who stayed out the longest. Ty stayed out to lap 37, whereas Rutherford stayed out to lap 36. We got Butcher Benjamin and Ellison coming down pit road. Looks like Corey Rutherford back here going to follow him. How about Corey Rutherford? He was up there in the top 5. He's up 24 spots since the start of this race.
Yeah, Corey Rutherford in that 5 coming down pit lane. Man, again, Corey has been turning on the heat this whole season, Sam, in that 5 car, and I don't think tonight's going to be any different.
Brian Dees still out on the racetrack. We got 48 laps to go. Dalton Kilroe, same. He's still out on the racetrack. You got Chris Legou. He's on pit road now. He's bringing Nicholas Okie with him. Jamie Walker, who's been struggling to fight back here tonight, he's on pit road back there in 28th position, Terry. And with this new point system that we got going on this season, that's not going to help our points leader right now.
It is absolutely not going to help him one bit. Jamie Walker is our points leader. Second right now, we got Dalton Kilroe. Cody Gibson is sitting in our 3rd spot. Paul Ellison, without a win so far, is in 4th. And Stephen T. Johnson rounds out our top 5 in points.
So Ty Morosco takes over the race lead right now. Joshua Rutherford second. Chris Carroll is right behind Josh Rutherford, about 5 seconds behind him. So Ty and Josh are probably going to pit here in the next lap or 2, I'd say, as Kilroe and Dees came down pit road last time by.
Sam, I'm sorry, but has Dalton led a lap yet?
Not tonight.
Man, that's kind of odd for that 41 car. That's for sure.
We were just on board there with the number 99 of Chris Carroll, Terry, and he's saving. He was dumping the clutch there going into turns 3 and 4.
Well, I guess it's that time. It's halfway time, so start saving.
Yeah,
maybe.
But here's the thing. Is it too late now? That's the question. Did he maybe start saving too late? Because you got, again, Joshua Rutherford coming on pit road right now. Same with Ty Morosco. He's still staying out there. And those 2, they've stayed out the longest. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
I'm watching the time for Chris Carroll against Ty Morosco. Carroll is actually cutting that down tremendously. But Carroll is on a whole lot fresher tires than what Morosco is.
And I'm wondering if maybe Ty's still trying to save a little bit of fuel here as well. Let's see what he does here coming out of turn 4. He got the Lone Dutchman on pit road right now. Yeah, Ty's going to bring him down pit side. So Chris Carroll going to come around and retake the race lead.
That's going to be about a 14-second gap from Chris Carroll to Steven Johnson.
And Johnson runs second after he gets past Morosco here on pit road, and Mark Arthur will take over 3rd. Derek Paulson in 4th. How about Mike Hamlin? Haven't said a whole lot about him tonight. He's up there inside the top 10, running 7th right now. Once this cycle through, he's going to take over 6th.
Yep, 28 of Michael Ham, like you said, he is there running 9th. And right behind him is Cody Gibson, getting challenged by Brian Dees in that 17.
The last pit stop Andy Poliski did, Terry, was on lap 51. He took fuel only. Same with teammate Ellison and Rutherford. All them guys taking fuel only, and Josh Rutherford even. All the work in progress guys, fuel only last pit stop.
Yeah, they're working as a team, and you and I know this too well. You're a team until lap 99 3/4.
Mike
10,
Hamlin.
41. Wow, just ganging up on Poliski now.
Yeah, they almost went 3 wide right there. Even up here near Mike Hamlin. Hamlin just got around John Perkins, who Perkins was another driver pit on lap 48, fuel only for the number 33. But Hamlin gets around him and moves up into the top 5. Then you got Cody Gibson right behind him in 6th. We go back up to the front. Chris Carroll, 15-second lead over Steven Johnson. But then you got to go back another almost 9 seconds to Mark Arthur, who's running in 3rd. I mean, Terry, these guys are spread out all over the place on this racetrack right now.
Yeah, there's, ladies and gentlemen, we do look. Trust me, we keep clicking these names and trying to find you something, but they are so spread out over this track right now.
Well, there's a lot of different strategies being played too, right? I mean, you got the whole work in progress guys. They're pretty much the only ones who didn't take tires that go around. So we're going to probably see them go backwards, but I don't know. Is this going to help them in the long run with fuel? Remember, these guys can only do about 15 laps on fuel. Chris Carroll came down on lap 48. We got 43 laps to go. You do the math. We're going to see pit stops here again in about 10 laps.
Absolutely we are. And, you know, I thought Paulson was going to get up here and challenge Arthur. I don't believe he is now, man. It looks like that 6 cars just riding around. Same way with Arthur, just out there riding around for now, trying to save that car probably, or save a little fuel maybe.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we do have in-car cameras tonight. I'll bring up 3 of them right now. We got Rick Thompson, Paul Ellison, and Corey Rutherford.
While you're doing that, I want to thank, again, Tim Habiak over at TRJ Karting, trjkarting.com, for all your go-karting needs. Tim can also get you stuff for doing sim stuff like shoes, gloves, and I believe he still has an apparel line. So hit up TRJ Karting, trjkarting.com.
I also don't want to leave him out. Steven Johnson, still looking concentrated. He's running there in 2nd, having a good run, especially coming off the win last week.
Oh, one-handed. Look at him just driving around.
Well, you got a lot of time to kind of like stretch out on these straightaways, right? Like just kind of, you know, move your arms around a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like Daytona, Talladega. Once you get on that back stretch, man, you can kind of relax. But then we go 3 or 4 wide, then, man, you better be holding on to that steering wheel.
Got Taylor Butcher-Benjamin looking to the inside of Cody Gibson. Battle for your 7th position. Looks like Taylor might have pushed up a little bit there going into 1. He's trying to bring his teammate along with him. And does Dalton have a little bit of right side damage on that race car?
Remember, he got into a wall earlier. I heard him say it. So
yeah, he has right side damage on that race car, Terry.
Yeah, he does. But it's not slowing him down. I think he's got fresher tires also than what Butcher does.
1 lap fresher tires.
Yeah, that's what it was. 1 lap. I'm kind of looking there. And he's been wearing that 41 out.
Right now, one driver I think is in a really good position is this number 17 of Brian Dees. He last pit on lap 53, sitting there in 5th position. So if there's anybody who has gone the longest distance on fuel and it has a good spot, it's this number 17 car right now.
And we've talked about Brian Dees in the past. We called his name many, many times in previous seasons. And it's nice to see that 17 get back up there in that top 5, top 10, and get that notoriety that he deserves.
Derek Paulson actually still having a good run as well. Remember, he's been involved in a couple of accidents. I think he had a bad week last week. And now back up inside the top 5 once again. Number 6 MFRD Ford Mustang.
I actually talked to the Paulson in that 6 car. He says he just wants a top 10 tonight. He's going to stay away from the wall, keep his nose clean, and he's really concerned about that tire wear in that number 6 tonight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got 39 laps to go here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're going to take another commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Green Flag Pit Stop. Stick around.
and sit down.
Put the power of Southern Shores Realty to work for you. With over 30 professionals in sales and rental management, Southern Shores Realty and I will get the job done right. I'm Rick Thompson, your Outer Banks real estate expert.
Call 261-2000.
We're back live here on truesimproductions, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We got 35 laps to go. Chris Carroll's still your race leader. Steven Johnson running second, Mark Arthur third, Brian Dees in fourth. Derek Paulson rounds out your top five. Probably going to be perfect timing, Terry. I mean, we got actually one driver who's on pit road right now. As I say that, race leader Chris Carroll coming down pit road. John Perkins was actually on pit road before Carroll. We got Sam Lawson there. He looks like he's getting a lap back.
Sam, I just noticed something. I watched the 88 go down through the tunnel. They're out of here. Jamie Walker out of the race.
So this actually hands the lead over to Mark Arthur for the first time tonight. Number 12 going to get 5 bonus points.
Mark Arthur in the lead now. Still got 17. And Brian Dees running behind him with his teammate Derek Paulson, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, and Dalton Kilroe all behind him. Mike Hamlin in this 28 car, still running in the top 10. He's in 7th. Dustin Payne, somebody we haven't really said, in the 81, he's in 8th. And Stephen T. Johnson, again, is in 9th. Hank Caston is our top 10. Right there's top 10, everyone.
Like I said, everybody, I think Brian Dees might be in the position right here. I think he's in a good position to win this right now, Terry. I really do. 33 laps to go. You got Chris Carroll pitting right now. I mean, he's going to have to stop 2 more times. Easily. At least once. But I'm thinking it's going to be probably about 2.
Mark Arthur just called out his pit stop with Dees behind him.
Ooh, Dees real sideways coming at it too.
I was just watching that too. Dees getting a good, trying to get either a push or a good draft off the 12th car.
I think he's messing with him. I think he's trying to get Mark to mess up his pit stop. I mean, why wouldn't you, right? Like, just get right up on his back bumper. Hey, I'm pitting. All right, well, I'm going to see if I can't make you mess it up so I can get that spot.
See if he actually does it. Yep. 12 peels off.
Oh, there it is. I called it. Mark Arthur, he slides under braking coming down pit road. I think he's good.
And what's funny is I heard him holler at Dees saying he was going to pit. Dees acknowledged it. Okay. And yeah, he got in the 12's head.
Well, come on, Amanda. We all know Mark Arthur's notorious for doing that on pit road. I mean, if it ain't pit road, it's something else. But normally it's pit road that gets them.
Hank Caston right now just come back out of the pits on fresh tires. Dees was kind of running him down, but Hank Caston with them fresh rubber, he just keeps cruising.
So I'm sitting here just I'm running numbers in my head, Terry. Now, I'm no mathematician, but I think a lot of these guys are going to be good to go one more pit stop after they all pit through this cycle here.
Sam, we're well oh man, he's pitting now. But I was going to have you pull up to 71, running 14th, Sam. Now he just called out his pit, so we're going to see him dive down here in a minute. But you got the 2. Ooh, wow. The 2 is Steven Johnson, barely got around the 71.
So showing, I see Ryan Flanagan out in chat. How you doing, Ryan? He said Mike Hamlin sped on pit road and got a 40-second hold. So where is Mike Hamlin at currently on track? 22nd. It's a tough break for the number 28. He was having a really good run too, Terry, up there in the top 5.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he's been up in the top 10 a lot tonight. But hey, we know Mike Hamlin. We know he can probably work his way back up through there. Just a minor setback.
It's Dalton Kilrow currently the race leader. He's got Joe Alberico behind him. He's got Corey Sherman, Dustin Payne, all these guys trying to work their way around them. Brian Dees brought it down pit side.
Dalton Kilrow last pit at lap 53 with fresh tires. Everybody that's below him, man, has got fresher tires and pitted within the last 5 or 6 laps.
Dalton bringing it down pit side.
Peels it off.
He's going to split this in half, Terry. I think that's what he's going to try and do. 30 laps to go. He's going to come down now, run probably about another 16 laps, and then come down and pit again.
That would be an awesome call if that's what he does. Josh Rutherford calling out his pit. He is not currently running in 6th place.
I think Chris Carroll's going to have to make it to about 15 laps to go, Terry, if he's going to want to make it on one more pit stop. Last pit on lap 66. So that's about 25 laps he's got to do.
Yeah, Carroll might have shot himself in the foot here tonight.
Hey, he might have. I don't know. I mean, anything could happen. We could have a late race caution too, Terry. I mean, anything is possible right now. As you see the poll out in chat, it's gone up to about 83%. We're going to have a late race caution. Ladies and gentlemen, so far, green flag the entire way here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Blazing Pedals, as always, putting on one of the best shows ever on a Sunday night. Why watch NASCAR when you can come watch Blazing Pedals?
That's true. And to have 2 announcers like you and I.
That's what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's what you're saying.
That's what I am saying. I'd say, and now we'll tell everybody out there, TSP is live pretty much every night. And you can listen to our very own Sam Baumgarten as he calls all the action.
Ty Morosco being scored as the race leader right now. Chris Carroll about 6.5 seconds behind him. Now, I want to go on board with Carroll here. Yeah, he's saving, Terry. He's got that gap, right? He's got that 12-second gap right now. But I don't know, man. Yeah, he's even saving after he goes through the short chute. I don't know. I think it's the worst time to start saving is near the end of the race. I think these guys who did it in the beginning, they're the ones who are going to prevail tonight.
Yeah, they're spending less time on pit lane and what Carroll is doing. Carroll last pit stop was a 15:23. We got some guys out. Steven Johnson was 15:20. Mark Arthur 15:15. Derek Paulson with a 14:87. Gibson 1463. So a lot of these guys spend a lot less time on pit lane than what Carroll has.
Well, out of the top 10, Brian Dees actually had the fastest stop. So the crew on the number 17 machine getting them in and out really quick. A 14.42 stop for that number 17. And remember, I said he's the one that we're going to have to watch here when these strategies start to play out.
Yeah, looking back to these, at lap 71, we've seen Dalton Kilroe peel off and take a pit stop, fuel only out of that 41. So that tells me he's got a set of tires in the bank for this last stretch.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, 26 laps to go. Chris Carroll, your race leader. We're watching Brian Dees right now. Right behind him is his teammate Taylor Butcher Benjamin in 7th, and his other teammate Dalton Kilroe back there in 8th. Chris Carroll has been saving fuel, still has about a 12.5-second gap. He has Chris Legoo right in front of him, Terry, and Chris is now the last car in the lead lap there in 18th position.
Yep, a couple more spots, buddy. You can get that top 15 like you called out tonight. Van Fleet actually called out the top 15 also. Where's he sitting at? In 23rd, one lap down. So a caution would put a bunch of guys right back up on that lead lap.
Fastest lap of the race last time by actually was that number 1 of Ty Morosco. He's got them fresh tires and he's coming.
A 53.176. Whoa, that's flying around here.
Now, were these guys able to cut out a pit stop? I mean, Ty, last pit on lap 73. He's going to have to come down and take fuel, Terry. I mean, everybody's going to have to stop at least one more time. And the question is when Carroll's going to do it. Like I said, if he's going to want to make it the rest of the way, he's going to have to get to about 17 laps to go.
So it's kind of interesting. You brought it up at lap 71. We saw Dalton Kilroe pull in that 41. You said he's going to probably do a halfway on this. He's 6 laps into this fuel run. Now 5 laps, let's say. So you said what? Probably he's going to cut it in half?
If I had to guess, I'd say Dalton's probably going to cut it in half. Maybe about 15 laps to go. We'll see that 14 come down pit road. Or honestly, Terry, this is going to be the final pit stop. So I'm guessing a lot of these guys, they're probably going to come down a lot earlier than that. Well, not a lot earlier, but they're going to try and beat Chris Carroll down pit road to try and short pit him.
You know, you said the 14. I know what you meant was the 41.
Whatever.
But as we're talking about the 14, Dave Seats, he is actually in 10th place in that 14 car.
There's a lot of numbers on my timing and scoring, all right? Take a picture of it for you.
Well, I can take pictures for you. I've got all kinds of numbers I'm looking at right now.
He's got Dustin Ping right behind him there in 11th. John Perkins fell back to about 12th here.
Dustin Ping just a little bit faster than Dave Seach right now.
Chris Legoo is starting to pull away from Chris Carroll, so I think he's going to be safe to stay on the lead lap.
Chris Legoo with a 15 flat on his last pit stop at lap 68. So I'm wondering if Chris, I haven't been paying a whole lot of attention if he used up all his tires.
Steven Johnson still runs second. Gap to Chris Carroll now 10.7 seconds. So they are closing. I don't know, man. Is it going to be enough?
I was going to say, yeah, 10.7. Now we're down to 10.4. He is trying to close that gap in between him and Carroll.
Got Sam Lawson ahead of Steven Johnson now, looking to the inside of that 27 of Michael Miller. Battle for your 21st position. Sam Lawson's going to take it over here going into 1. Michael Miller trying to cross him back over. And here comes Steven Johnson and Mark Arthur. They're going to have to get around these guys quick if they're going to want to keep trying to run down that 99.
I was actually talking to Sam Lawson earlier, Sam, and he asked me a question. He goes, "Hey, man, you've been watching me today. Where do you think I got in this?" I say, "Man, you easily got a top 15 right now." Sam Lawson is in the 22nd spot, 1 lap down. So, Lawson, I'm sorry. I thought you had that in you with that TSP fast car, buddy.
Looks like he might have gotten the wall a little bit too, Terry. He's got some right rear damage on that number 24. Steven Johnson gets around him. Mark Arthur trying to get around him as well. Here comes Derek Paulson. He's got the lone Dutchman behind him. Remember Philip Van Fleet back there in the 23rd position, trying to fight his way back up here to get a lap back. 20 laps to go here at Indianapolis.
Yeah, Lawson is getting just, he's got Paulson, Miller, like you said, Van Fleet, and the 17 of D's all over him.
Ryan D's last pit on lap 70. I don't know, Terry. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe that strategy won't play out.
Well, I'm watching. I was just watching a 99's speed going down that stretch right there, and he still had probably 8 or 9 mile an hour that he could have went. So he is not giving his car everything it's got.
Hey, Terry, I want to point out, I don't know what the 88 team did, but they must have went back to the shop or something real quick and came back, because the 88's back out on track.
Good deal.
Still have about 4 drivers, though, who have elected to put their car on the hauler.
So, Sam, every lap I'm watching this 99, he is approximately 10 mile an hour slower than what he was running away from these guys.
Well, he's got to save fuel, right? Like I said, he's got to get to a certain point to where he knows he can make it on one more stop, basically. We got 18 laps to go. We're almost in that window. But yeah, he's lost that gap all because he's had to save fuel here late in the race.
Right now, lap car Mike Hamlin in the 28 is actually letting the 28 go. He hollered at him and said, "Hey, come on around me." Mike Hamlin gets a lap back the old-fashioned way. He had to earn it.
John Perkins on pit road. First driver to come down pit side. Mark Arthur just got around Steven Johnson. Maybe problems for the number 2 because he fell back behind Paulson as well. Put Steven Johnson back to 4th.
I think pit lane's going to get really busy really quick.
Still got guys staying out on the racetrack. How about Cody Gibson? He's going to be one of the first guys that says, "All right, I'll try this short pit deal." Well, we're going to have to see if it works for him. He's going to have to be on his marks here coming down pit road. Let's stay on him, see what he does.
Dalton Kilroy has actually come down pit lane too. I'll stay on Dalton. Man, it's a long way down this road at 60 mile an hour.
Right side's going up on the 7, Terry. So 4 tires for the 7 of Cody Gibson as Dalton Kilroy comes down into his pit box. Right sides go up on the 41.
So we knew, okay, so he had plenty in the bank, or at least one set in the bank.
You got Josh Rutherford. He was a driver who pit on lap 71. Derek Paulson, Steven Johnson, and Hank Caston on pit road.
Well, with Michael Miller and Sam Lawson, they also came down. Taylor Butcher Benjamin running fourth, just called out his pit. He's going to be coming down, letting Jamie Walker at 88 get around him.
So we're on the roof cam here at Mark Arthur, Terry, and you can barely see that number 99 of Chris Carroll out in front of him. Carroll has lost that lead to about, I'd say, a full corner.
Mark Arthur with 2 laps better fuel and tires. Chris Carroll coming down pit lane.
And Mark's going to follow him. That's probably the best move he could make. Here comes Taylor Butcher Benjamin. You see Dalton Kilroy goes around up there. Remember, Dalton already pit.
Man, awesome pit entrance out of that 12 car.
Brian Dees takes over the race lead. All right, so we're 15 laps to go. Still green flag. Haven't had one caution yet. I don't want to jinx it, but that would sure change things up. Chris Carroll on pit road. Mark Arthur overshot his pit box, I think, Terry.
Yeah, I believe he did also. Carroll, both sides of his car went up and down, full tank of fuel.
Yeah, Mark's going to lose a lot of time here.
Mark Arthur down and away.
Lost a lot of time there.
Dees right now looking at approximately 16, 17 laps since his last pit. He's going to have to come down pit lane. Definitely.
I think he's, right now, Terry, I think he's trying to maybe just pray for a late race caution here, as last time by, John Perkins actually set the fastest lap of the race.
Watch 36, Hank Caston work his way around the 17 as Jamie Walker, man, on a tear in that 88 up there on the 17 right now. Jamie Walker actually showing 21 laps. Brian Dees, our leader, just hollered out his pits. I am going to ride along with Brian Dees, Sam, and see what he does in that 17.
Ty Maraska right now is running second, so if Brian Dees comes down, Ty's going to take over the race lead. Remember, Ty came down on lap 73. Now, unless he was saving, there's no way he's going to be able to make it 10 extra laps. I just don't see that happening for the number 1 car. He's going to have to bring it down pit side.
Yeah, I don't see it either. 17, 60 mile an hour coming down pit lane. Still ain't got to his box yet.
Chris Carroll back there in third. He's got a 3.8 second gap to Mark Arthur.
Yep, D's full tank of fuel, 4 fresh tires. Let's see if he can hold these guys off.
Ty Maraska is saving, Terry. You know what?
There's no way.
There really is no way, but if he's going to try it, I mean, he might as well try it because he's got a 16.5 second gap to Chris Carroll. I don't know, man. It's a long shot for this 1 car. Riding on board with him, Terry. You can just hear him. He is way out of the throttle.
I understand what Ty's wanting to do, but it ain't going to happen.
No, I don't think it's going to happen either. 12 laps is way too long here at Indy. And again, unless he was saving at the very beginning, there's just no way. Just praying for a late race caution, Terry. I think that's what he's doing.
So I just done a little bit of math. If Carroll can save the fuel for 15 laps, because that's going to put him, he should not have to stop.
Terry, we knew he wasn't going to have to stop when he came down a lap with 17 laps to go. Come on now.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. And there's no way Marasco's got to come down. Or maybe he's waiting for that caution.
If there's going to be one, I don't know.
Van Fleet just called his pit stop out. His last pit was at lap 71. So Morosco's got to come within the next 3 laps, I would think.
I don't know, man. He's got something else he's thinking about right now, I guess. He's seeing that checkered flag, I think, but I think he's a couple laps too short here.
Just seen the 3 car go out behind the wall. Sam, I don't know if he's done for the night or what, but Corey Sherman has taken his car behind the wall.
Problems for the 3, huh?
I don't see nothing. Yeah,
I don't see anything either, yeah.
He did have a pit stop of 85 seconds, but that's...
Corey had an auto fuel issue and ran out of gas. It didn't give him any.
Oh, no.
Fun fact for anybody watching, there is a setting in your INI file where you can turn that off, that auto fuel crap. I don't know why iRacing implemented that, but yeah, no.
Yeah, the way I do it, I tell it when I want the fuel and how much I want.
Time Roscoe down pit road. He tried.
So that's going to put Carroll back to lead with Derek Paulson approximately
4 seconds behind him.
Yeah, about 4 seconds. Yeah, thank you. And that's going to put Stephen T. Johnson approximately 5 seconds behind him.
Yeah, something I think happened to Mark Arthur because he was going to cycle back through the second, but lost all that time on pit road, and I think might have had a little issue getting loose or something because he fell back to 4th.
Yeah, Mark Arthur with a 16:28 on his last pit stop.
Nine laps to go. It's a long way.
Paulson is cutting that lead down a little bit.
Oh, Terry, I want to point out, if Corey Sherman took it behind the wall, Aaron Bockover's not in the race. Philip Van Vliet back there in 22nd, and Amanda having issues before the race. Chris Legoo's going for the banner right now.
Chris could probably park his car right now and get it. So, but I know Chris, he ain't going to do that. Right now, Chris is actually sitting in the 17th spot.
Last car in the lead lap.
Yeah, and on the lead lap, correct. Yeah.
Chris Carroll is coming, though. We go on the roof cam here at the 99. You can see Chris Legoo out ahead of him. And I tell you what, Terry, points are everything this season. And right now, I want to take a look at something real quick. Let me take a look at the race control thing. Got Chris Legoo. Yeah, he's got 0 incident points right now, Terry. If Carroll gets to him, he ain't giving up that lead lap. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, that's 10 bonus points for finishing this race on the lead lap with a 0x. Yeah, Sam, I was kind of looking back to what you're looking at, the incidents. Man, when you do it here, you do it good. There's a lot of 4s, and I see 1.5 out of Fred Thompson. So, yeah, you do it here, you do it good.
Seven laps to go here at Indianapolis. Chris Carroll leading. Taking a look at Steven Johnson here running in 3rd. Mark Arthur back in 4th. Brian Dees in 5th.
Well, we might have the battle of the Chris's here direct shortly.
I'm telling you, man, if I'm Chris Legoo, I'm not going to just lay over. I don't care if there's 6 laps to go or 1 lap to go. I ain't laying over.
And my car's going to get really wide, real wide on this track. and you could probably put 4 to 5 cars side by side on this track.
So just to clarify to everybody watching, you get 10 bonus points for finishing with 0 incidents in Blazing Pedals. However, to get that 10 bonus points, you also have to finish on the lead lap. So that's why we're saying that Chris Legoo is probably going to fight for it, because those 10 extra points are really going to help you later on in the season.
Chris Legoo just got around the 9 car of Nick Akie. We ain't said Nick's name at all tonight. Nick Akie out there in that 9th. In that 9 car running 25th.
Yeah.
And he's putting a gap on Nick, Chris Legoo is. So that's going to help him out a little bit with Carroll catching him. Carroll just got around Nick.
5 laps to go.
Mark Arthur just got around the 20. Is it? Yeah, that's the 28.
You know, Chris is driving his heart out right now, trying not to get a lap down, right?
Absolutely, he is.
I mean, I can see it. I know Chris is another guy who runs in VR. Chris Legoo, that is.
Yep. Actually, I think Chris has I think it's called a Pymex or Pyrex or something like that. Same thing that Corey Sherman runs. And I'm pulling for you, Chris. Make that thing wide.
Yep. 4 laps to go here. Going for the banner, going for 10 bonus points for a clean race on a lead lap. He wanted a top 15, sitting in 17th right now.
Yeah, but if he does that every week, Sam, even, you know what, last week I think he finished 20th. So, you know, Chris is doing a hell of a job this season, as Chris Carroll really got a good run off of there.
Gap to Derek Paulson is now 5.6 seconds.
I just happened to notice over in the team speak that Bach over is in there with him. He may be spotting for Chris.
3 laps to go here, Terry. Carroll's got a good run here. Got to keep an eye on this. What's Legoo gonna do? He goes wide here.
Yeah, they both kind of stayed even there. Of course, Carroll went to the bottom, Legoo went to the top. Oh, we got Fred Thompson up in front of these two. I thought Carroll was going to use him.
Legoo was going to put up more of a fight than that, man. I really thought he would have blocked him right there. I really did. Out of turn 4, popsicle sticks in the air. 2 laps to go here at Indianapolis. I hate to say it, we could still get a yellow though. They got to take that white flag.
Absolutely.
All right, going into 3 and 4 here, Chris Carroll. Now out to a 6-second lead.
Yeah, Wade and Derek Paul's still in our second place. Man, he's 6 seconds behind first place Chris Carroll. Paulson has no way of getting up to Chris Carroll right now unless we get something right now.
Yep, white flag in the air presented by Priority Auto.
Yep. Next flag would end the race, right?
Yep, we get a caution or checkered, whatever comes first here. Chris Carroll goes down into turn 2. Then down the back straightaway for the final time. Derek Paulson now 6.3 seconds back. Carroll can pretty much coast it the rest of the way here.
You remember a few races back, we seen Carroll, I think it was Watkins Glen, where he ran pretty much the whole race and lost it, with only 2 or 3 laps to go.
Out out of turn number 4. Checkered flag in the air for the number 99 of Chris Carroll, taking home the win here tonight. Derek Paulson second, Steven Johnson up 13 spots. You know what, though, Terry? I think he just lost biggest mover to Corey Rutherford, who moved up 14.
Wow, that's awesome.
By 1 spot. Mark Arthur gets 4th. Brian Dees, your top 5. Taylor Butcher Benjamin 6th. Cody Gibson 7th. Hank Caston, Ty Morosco, Dustin Ping, your top 10. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be bringing up that's Stephen T. Johnson coming home in 3rd place tonight, Stephen, and we got you up on your in-car cam too, so wave hi to everybody. But coming home in 3rd place here tonight, Stephen, kind of walk me through your race. Got it, Stephen?
He's messing with something.
You got us? Yeah, I see him messing with something. Can't hear you, Stephen. he can hear us, but we can't hear him. He's giving a thumbs up. Good job on 3rd place. hey, go ahead and see if you get it fixed up. We'll bring it back up here in a minute. Put him down there real quick. All right, Terry, I'll go ahead and take 2nd since I kind of took 3rd there from you, and then you can get the winner here. Let's see, where is he at? Old Derek Paulson coming home in 2nd place. And Derek, kind of walk me through your race, man. Green flag to checkered flag. No cautions tonight. How rough was it out there for you?
Oh, it wasn't terrible. Late in the run, your car got extremely tight. With fuel in the car, it wasn't too bad. Even with old tires, you throw fuel in the car, it didn't feel terrible at all. But once you got down to that 1/3 of a tank and less, she was pretty tight. But you know, a lot of guys out here tonight, and to go caution free at this track, you know, that's pretty good. That says a lot about this league.
Yeah, man. Hey, good run out there for that number 6 machine. It looked like you guys, your whole team might have had the strategy to do it there tonight. Was there maybe a hope that you guys were going to get another caution? Did you guys have a set of tires laying in the pits or anything?
I think Dalton had tires. Dees and Ty, I think, only took 2 tires on that last stop. I burnt up all my tires. I threw all my eggs in one basket on the way the race was going, and everyone was racing each other pretty clean. I figured we'd go all the way, and so we all kind of had a little mixed bag of things we were doing. But yeah, all in all, for a team, pretty good show.
Yeah, man, great job. Come home in 2nd place tonight. Good points for that number 6 car. Who we got to shout out for making it all happen?
Oh, we got to thank Savage Edge, of course, for coming on and being the lead sponsor here today. I got thanks CRJ Graphics, MF Racing Designs, Butt Kicker, True Sim Productions, of course, you guys up in the booth, you guys always do a fantastic job. I'll probably go back later tonight and rewatch this broadcast. I got to thank MFRD, all the guys, Brian, Ty, Taylor, Nick, and Dalton. It's fun when we all get in here and get a showing, and I just got to thank the league again. It was fun. It was good seeing everyone running nice and clean tonight.
All right, man. Well, hey, congrats again on second place, and we'll see you again next week.
All right, thank you.
There's second place finisher Derek Paulson, and let's say, Terry, I'm going to go ahead and try and bring up Stephen T. Johnson once again if you want to talk to him.
Yeah, that's fine if you can get
next to them.
Yep, there we go. There we go. You got him, Terry.
You got us now, Steven.
Take two. How are we doing? I could hear you the first time. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you, buddy.
Heck yeah,
Man.
modern technology.
Awesome run out of that number 2. Is it because we're changing the car number each week? Is that why we're getting winning like this? Or
No, the plan was to change the number once, but it is what it is. But ran the first half of the race not really thinking about fuel and figured, a caution will come out at some point. And then we got to the halfway point and realized that other drivers were going an extra 2 or 3 laps. So at that point, we just tried to save. So the third to last and second to last stints, we went ahead and saved 2 laps of fuel, which allowed me to push to the end. But Derek and we came in together. We came off together. He never made a mistake, so I wasn't able to do anything with him. But really fun race. Trying to work with Mark Arthur at the end, battling for third. But it was an overall pretty fun race. Glad to ran caution free.
Well, again, you had a second place win coming off last week's win. I mean, congratulations again for New Hampshire. And you are on camera, so don't do nothing silly. Again, great run out of that number 2 car. Who you got on there to thank, buddy?
Chris Carroll was helping me with fuel strategy there on the second half of the race. But I appreciate True Sim Productions for putting on great broadcasts as always. Savage Edge. Tried out some of their merch, and it's actually pretty awesome stuff. So check out their website because they have some pretty cool racing merchandise to work with.
All right, bud. Well, congratulations. We are heading to Atlanta next week, bud. So I guess we'll see you down in Atlanta next week.
Looking forward to it. It's one of my favorite tracks.
All right, bud. We'll get you back down there.
All right. Talk soon.
That's third place, Stephen T. Johnson. Give me 1 second here, Terry. I'll get you the race winner.
All right.
That's going to be Chris Carroll. You got him.
Chris Carroll, it's me again.
You got me there, Terry?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
10-4. I just want to make sure TeamSpeak was working, my man.
It's working perfect. Thank you, sir. Man, hell of a run out of that 99. Did I hear you say you barely had fuel at the end of this race through the chat?
I had 0.8 left at the line. I had a 0.8 of a lap, it was saying in iRacing, so I had to clutch her all the way around there to save enough to do the burnout.
We actually was watching you prior to this last pit stop you had. It looks like you was trying to save fuel. Is that what you was doing?
Yeah, I didn't realize till about halfway through the race that we had to save, and I started saving and made her. So I wondered, I was like, man, I'm not fast at Indy. What's going on here? Everyone's slowing down. And I realized we had to save fuel about halfway. So from about lap 50 to the end, we were saving.
Yeah, so Sam and I was watching you as you was getting up onto the 71 of Chris Legoo. And we was wondering, is Chris going to make that car wide so you couldn't get around him? Because if he would have stayed in front of you, he would have got 10 extra bonus points tonight. But he moved over, of course. But awesome win out of that 99. That's your second win this season. First one being at Nashville Super Speedway. Who you got to thank on that car tonight, buddy?
Well, first of all, I'm going to thank Legoo for that. I didn't know he had 10 extra bonus points for doing that. So I appreciate him being courteous. Sorry?
He did not get him because you passed him.
That's what I mean. He didn't have to let me go there. I appreciate that he did, but always got to thank Savage Edge and those guys for putting all this on, and everybody that works hard here, all the admins, and got to thank Five King Motorsports and Brian Zimmerman at USAFirearms.com and all of our teammates here that that we run with. We have a blast in this league. It's a really good league. It's really well run, and always TSP for the broadcast. And I'm going to thank all my friends and family out there. My folks are always watching, and got a lot of friends out there to like to watch too. So it's pretty cool to put on a show for all those guys.
Well, tell them to get in chat, man. We love to talk to people. We like to see what they're talking about and stuff. Tell them to get in chat. We don't have a problem with that.
I'll do that, Terry.
Well, we appreciate it. Well, congratulations. We'll get you back down to where you was, and we'll see you in Atlanta next week, buddy.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate that.
Yep.
That was your race winner, Chris Carroll. And Terry, that was a pretty good race. I mean, green flag the whole way through. You can't ask for a better race.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about. 100 laps, no yellow flags. Again, the field did get stretched out a little bit, which makes our job kind of easy, but it also makes it kind of hard because we got to find something to talk about out here. But congratulations, Blazing Pedals, tonight for that. And I also want to give a big shout out to Tim over at TRJ Karting at trjkarting.com for sponsoring this race night in Indianapolis.
Absolutely. Everybody go check out trjkarting.com. This has been the trjkarting.com 250 here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway with Chris Carroll taking home the win, Derek Paulson in second, Steven Johnson in third, Mark Arthur fourth, Brian Dees your top five, and the rest of your results are on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. That being said, we're going to get out of here, and we'll see you next week here with the Blazing Pedal Series at Atlanta. Y'all have a good one.